Hi. I thought it might be a good idea to talk about the beginning, really, how much I was looking forward to the menopause. Believe it or not, I actually was. I'd suffered from endometriosis like a lot of other women. So periods were very, very painful and heavy and just an absolute pain in the arse, to be perfectly honest with you. And I thought, great, bring the menopause on, no more periods, might get a bit hot, but I feel the cold, so I can cope with that. Might get a bit angry, but I was always quite laid back. So, being a narky cow might be quite a pleasant change. Completely oblivious to all the symptoms. And when I started getting symptoms of the perimenopause, when I was 47, I thought I was going absolutely mad. I started to forget things in the middle of saying them. Always been quite confident and capable at work, and suddenly I couldn't remember how to do my job. And I was self-employed, so that was a little bit awkward. I felt itchy all the time. I mean, proper scratching all the time. And hot flushes like, you'd never seen. At night when you were asleep, I was waking up covered in sweat, and it was just, I couldn't turn it off. It was unstoppable, as well as hot flushes in the day. What else did I have? Very sort of dry skin as well, dry itchy skin, weight gain. Used to be a size 12 and I took it horribly for granted. Now I'm a 16 to 18. As you can see, it's not pretty. Actually, it is. It's my figure and I shouldn't keep putting myself down about it. I've done that for years and years. And, it's okay. It's not perfect, but I don't think I want a perfect figure and all the shit, grief and hassle that comes with it. Anyway, I digress. Mood swings. God, like I say, I was always quite a laid back person, and suddenly I was raging. If somebody was eating loudly, chomping, smacking their lips, I just wanted to give them a slap. Road rage, Christ, I became evil behind the wheel and learned some swear words that even I didn't know. So all these things were happening, but I was still having periods. So I didn't think I could be menopausal. I thought there was some dreadful illness wrong with me. I hadn't actually heard back then, so we're going back 5.5 years ago, perimenopausal wasn't really bandied around as much as it is now. My skin started to age, I couldn't sleep, I felt very, very anxious, to the point of not being able to really want my children to go out and leave the house because I was convinced something bad would happen to them. But of course, you can't, you've got to let them fly, haven't you? So that was incredibly difficult. I say, having been quite a laid back person to suddenly being overwhelmed with anxiety. And also lost my sex drive. That just sort of packed and left. Felt very uncomfortable down there when we were having sex. And I just didn't feel like me anymore. I felt like this horrible, hairy, big husk had been left, and Sarah, as she was, had floated off and left this to it. So it took an awful lot of adjustment, and I was very angry about it for quite a long time, and I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was ill. I thought I was going mad. And I tried to sort of battle on and cope as best I could, because that's what we do as women. I think, we're so used to putting everybody else first that when something pretty catastrophic happens to us, we just crack on and keep going. So I started writing about these things that happened to me on Facebook, and then obviously quickly realised it was part of being perimenopausal, and obviously very quickly realised I wasn't the only one. And I think because I was so angry, it came across in quite a funny way. And just ended up with lots and lots of followers, over the years, which is great. I think we've got a really lovely family, and I hope many of them will join me on here, as this is my sort of chance to show you my face and talk to you a bit more in a personal fashion rather than through a Facebook blog. But I will keep doing that, obviously. So that's it. That's how it started off. Just sheer terror and confusion. What on earth was happening to me? Didn't have a clue. And I've ended up here with a lot more knowledge. I'm not a medical person by any means. Crikey, I wouldn't have a clue. But I can only talk to you about what's been happening to me. And I do seem to have had, I think there's about 50 recognised symptoms of the menopause. I think I've probably had about 48 of them. So I can talk to you about that. I can talk to you about how you're feeling and thinking, and I can assure you that if it's happened to you, it's happened to somebody else, and you're definitely not the only one. And I think that's the most important thing I found going through the menopause. I think the anxiety and the insomnia certainly made me feel quite depressed actually for a while. And again, that's normal. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And I do want to spend time assuring people that if you do feel lonely, please ask for help. It is out there, and you can and you will feel better. I can promise you that. So that's today's little, what should we call them? Mini vlog, I think, shall we? About why I started my page, Middle Age Madness, and, you know, what symptoms I experienced first off. I'll come on tomorrow if I've got time, and I'll talk to you about really nice, sexy things like hair growth. And I'm not talking about on my head, and what we can do about trimming it and coping with it and living with it. Because if I let my, let's say, below beard grow, I think I'd be having people snagged in it in the high street. So I'll be talking to you about that a bit more tomorrow, and perhaps read a bit more of my book or one of my poems, because there's quite a lot about hair. I've suffered with it quite badly. But, you know, you live and learn, don't you? You find ways of coping. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.